And with the excavations of 1988, we've got hundreds of artifacts from the Rose. We've got, if you were watching the film, we've got that beautiful rose ring, the mysterious gold ring, with the even more mysterious inscription, "Think of me, God willing." Now, we don't know whose ring that was. Maybe it was Shakespeare's ring, or Marlowe's ring, or Edward Elaine's ring. We don't know. But we've got amazing artifacts like the bear bone, which I'll show you a little bit later, but I'm holding it here in my hand, if you can all see, but I'll show you more clearly in just a moment. We've got things like money pot fragments, 685 dress pins that were discovered, glass beads, amber beads, oyster shells. So we know that the people standing in the yard, the poor people paying a penny to enter, would have been eating oysters. They found hazelnut shells and almond shells, walnut shells, pumpkin seeds, tobacco seeds, clay pipes, shoes, gold braid. The list goes on, an ivory comb, dice, these fantastic artifacts which will hopefully come back to us once we rebuild our theatre. So this helps to tell the story of Elizabethan playgoing. We can only imagine what it would have been like in the beautiful Little Rose Theatre, which was originally a little rose garden. Philip Henslow, who owned the theatre, he was a dyer by trade, came to the south side of the river, which was the county of Surrey and Kent. So this wasn't even London when Philip Henslow was coming here. London was north of the river. This was the liberty of the clink. You could do what you pleased. So this theatre was the first theatre on Bankside, a licensed theatre, and it predates Shakespeare's Globe. This was the first one, so we're very excited to claim that. In 1595, a few years later, just by the Blackfriars Railway Bridge, was the Swan Playhouse. And then in 1599, along comes Shakespeare's Globe, which is not where the reconstructed Globe is today. It's just around the corner on Park Street. If you were to leave our Rose, turn left and cross the street, it's right there. So it's very, very close to the Rose Playhouse. Philip Henslow had a business partner, a grocer by the name of John Chumley. And John Chumley gave Henslow a huge amount of money to build this theatre, £816 to be precise, to build the Rose, with the stipulation that Chumley would get his own victualling house, his ale house, and he would get half of the box office takings. If you look in the far corner, the southwest corner, you'll see a little black chair. Well, that's approximately where they dug up some floor tiles, which they think were the floor tiles to John Chumley's little ale house. And the entrance for the Rose would have been on Maiden Lane, the main entrance. But along Maiden Lane, which is today Park Street, you would have had an irrigation ditch. So to get to the Rose, you had to cross a bridge. There were irrigation ditches along Rose Alley and along the eastern end as well of the Playhouse. And Henslow was responsible for the maintenance of those irrigation ditches. And he was always being taken to court and fined over the maintenance of them. So he was a bit fed up with them after a while. So in 1592, Henslow starts his diary, where we find out so much information about the Rose Playhouse. Pre-1592, we've only got a few letters that tell us a little bit about the Rose. In 1587, there's a letter from the Sewers Commission saying to clean the sewers by the new Rose Playhouse. Also on the 16th of November 1587, there's a letter by Philip Gaudy, who attended a production here at the Rose. We think the production was Tamburlaine the Great, and he said that during the show, an actor fired a loaded pistol out into the audience, and he killed 2 people and injured a man in the head. So that's another little indication of what was going on here. In 1592, Edward Elaine marries Philip Henslow's stepdaughter, and in 1592, Henslow